This is lesson 80, pre-calc lesson 80, number 22. And these ones, now that it has a negative sign in front of it, the way that the book taught us to do it was to graph the inverse of it and then to reflect that across the line y equals x. And that was working for me, except for then when I started getting the negative sign, it started confusing me. Sorry about that. So then I found a different way to do it. In order to get that negative sign, in order to take care of that negative sign so it doesn't confuse me, I multiplied both sides of the equation by -1. So that brings the negative sign over here. And so now, instead of multiplying the inverse, or instead of looking at the inverse and then reflecting it across the line y equals x, I think I'm just going to go straight to the logarithm, the graph of the logarithm, because I realize now that really all we have to do is we can make a t-table right here and just plug numbers in for y. Plug numbers in for y. Like, okay, I brought this over here. Now it's the exponential form, 6 to the negative y equals x. And I can plug numbers in for y and find out what x is. That's not how we normally do things. We normally plug x in because x is usually the independent variable. But if I just plug in things for y, I find that it's not very hard to do. So I just had a t-table. I didn't have these numbers yet. And I decided to plug in -1, 0, and 1 for y, because if you do that up here, that's not too hard to do, right? Plug in -1 right here, then you'll have 6 to the 1, and that's equal to 6. If you plug in 0 right here, you have 6 to the 0 equals 1. And if I plug in 1 for y, I'll have 6 to the -1, that's 1/6. And then I can go ahead and graph it by plotting the points. 6, -1 is right here. And then 1, 0. And then 1, 6, 1. Now I don't have to draw the inverse and the line y equals x and do a reflection. That's just the log right there. So I took care of the negative by getting it onto the y, by multiplying both sides by -1. Then I turned it not into its inverse, but into its exponential form. And then I just plugged in numbers for y so that I could graph the exponential form of the logarithm. And there's the picture.